Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, this show is 25 years in the making. I met this beautiful young lady 25 years ago, and we instantly become, best friends. She's amazing. Dr. Cheryl Jackson is in the studio, and you're going to hear her amazing journey next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Dr. Cheryl Jackson has been a friend of mine for a quarter century. I cannot believe that I've gone this long and not invited her on my show. I am so honored. I can't even tell you. I'm just giddy.
I feel the same way, Jeff. I can't believe it's been 25 years either, but I'm so happy to be here.
There's a very popular bracelet, What Would Jesus Do? And I'm thinking about printing up one, What Would Cheryl Do? Because how you inspire me is while other people are waiting for things to happen, you make stuff happen.
Thank you,
In fact,
Jeff.
I think you said there's 3 kinds of people. The people who watch it happen.
You remember.
The people who make it happen. And the people who say, what
just happened? There you go. 3 times. You remember that?
I do, of course. Yeah, everything. So, Cheryl, I know it's hard to condense your life into a 20-minute segment, but where did you get this action thing? Like, where'd that come from?
Oh, it was from a man. So I went to Starbucks one day.
No, I'm not looking for self-praise.
No, I know. But that's where the name Action came from. It was actually from you. So I tell your story more than sometimes I tell my own.
Share the story, because I think this is a fun story.
So, you were doing that free publicity, and you said, I want to help you. And I was like, please help me. And we went to Starbucks to meet. And you said, you know what? You should have your own radio show. And I said, really? And you was like, yeah. I'm like, but I didn't go to school or anything for it. You said, it's okay. You have it, though. You have it. I said, okay. So you said, I'll be right back. You went to the men's room, and by the time you came back, I had called like KHVN, KRLD. I was calling everybody. So when you came back and sat down, I was like, Jeff, so I have a meeting with these people. And you said, for real? I mean, I wasn't gone that long. I said, I know, but you said I need to do it. And you said to me, you know what? Most people lack that vitamin A, and that's action. He said, you should be called Cheryl Action Jackson.
Wow.
And I don't know why I kept it and took it on out to the world, but I started telling people, I'm Cheryl Action Jackson. That's why I did it.
Well, she's a motivational speaker, best-selling author. We're going to talk about her book in a minute, but I found a sizzle reel. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to introduce to you a woman who is a trailblazer and a change maker, Cheryl Action Jackson. She is a philanthropist with a story of triumph to tell. And as a catalyst of change and a champion of comeback, Cheryl Jackson discovered her life's mission through unforeseen adversity and setbacks. From being homeless and hungry to providing over 8 million meals to families through Minnie's Food Pantry, a charity dedicated in honor of her mother, she frequently travels the country sharing firsthand accounts of awe-inspiring stories to thousands on taking action and living on purpose. Pioneering trailblazer, motivational speaker, and multi-million-dollar fundraiser, Jackson walks her talk by delivering results whether through keynote speeches or corporate workshops. Dr. Jackson has been featured in several television shows and networks such as Good Morning America and the Food Network, and notable reads such as Essence Magazine. Many celebrities, including Rihanna, Mark Cuban, Jim Parsons, have worked side by side with Jackson at Minnie's Food Pantry. The 10th annual Minnie's Food Pantry Gala, where Oprah Winfrey was the keynote speaker, reached a groundbreaking monetary goal of $1.3 million. She is a special correspondent for Entertainment Tonight and a writer for Huffington Post. Putting pen to paper, Jackson authored a memoir of her journey in the book, What in the World Are You Doing? She is happily married and currently resides in Texas with her husband, and they enjoy being proud parents and grandparents. At the end of the day, Cheryl's critical mission is to be a voice for the hungry and to educate the world on how to treat someone that needs something as simple as a meal. Cheryl Jackson has been described as a monomaniac on a mission, and per Oprah Winfrey is a relentless woman who won't take no for an answer. It is with esteemed honor that we present to you Cheryl Action Jackson.
Cheryl, that doesn't even do it justice.
Oh
it really
my.
does. You can't condense your whole life into a 2-minute
that's like-
clip.
that
All
got me.
so I want you to share the Oprah story because Oprah flew in on her own dime.
Yes, she did. Yes,
Okay,
she
how did
did.
you get Oprah to say yes?
That was 8 years in the making. And I'll try to share some of my tweets to you so that you can show them all of her declines. Saying, I wish you'd leave me alone. And but she would never say no. She was just like, while I honor the work that you do, my schedule is full or something. She was always so delicate with me. And then I would come back and go, so is that a yes, no, or maybe? Like, you can't do it this day. Do you have a date in mind, right? And I think though at that time in my life, I just lost my mom, and I had saw Mark Burnett and Roma Downey, and they each donated $50,000 on my birthday in memory of my mom.
Wow.
And Oprah had saw that, and then Jerry Jones had donated $100,000 and Mark Cuban. And so Oprah called me and she was like, listen, I didn't know that your mom had passed. She said, I'm going to donate $250,000. And I was like, oh, okay. She goes, so, okay, are you good? And I was like, no, girl. I said, that ain't even enough. She said, but Cheryl, I just gave you $250,000, Cheryl. I said, I understand that. I said, but I've been asking you, like they said, Noah said it was going to rain and nobody believed him. I said, for 8 years, I've been putting your name and saying you're coming and nobody's believed me. I said, and success without a successor is failure. I said, so I want you to come to Texas and point me out as your student. You are my mentor and I have no voice. So what happens when you have no voice and you're a leader? You look for other voices with you. Mine just happened to be the name and the woman called Oprah Winfrey.
Wow.
And she said, okay, Cheryl, I'll come.
Cheryl, it's hard to say no to you.
Oh, thank you. That's because my dad, when I was younger, he said I was like the widow woman in the Bible who would never stop until the judge gave him what they wanted. So my dad said, I always said yes after a while the first time around because I knew if you believed it. And for me, Jeff, there's some things that I feel. When I really feel it, if I ask you, then I felt it and it's supposed to happen. And so you just didn't know. And that's what I told Oprah. I said, I've always been knowing you were supposed to be with me. I was waiting for your baby Jesus to tell you you were supposed to be with me.
All right, I'm going to have to ask you to tell the Russell Simmons story.
So the Russell Simmons story is we were your wife.
Yes.
And Tony Zaza, I missed them both on radio. They invited me to radio because I hosted a little segment there. And then they told me Russell Simmons was coming. They were going to do a huge elaborate event and yours truly didn't have nobody's ticket. But I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds great. And they was like, we're going to interview him right after you. So I said, okay, the interview was over with. And so, I'm slowly walking out, right? They were trying to push me out. I knew they were trying to get me out the studio. I was like, I'm going to take my time, no rush. And so I take my time. Ironically, though, Jeff, when I was getting ready to go down the elevator, Russell was coming up. And so I was like, I'm a huge fan. He's like, really? He said, well, are you coming tonight? And I was like, I don't have any tickets. He goes, well, take my number. He literally gave me his number in the hallway. No kidding. Gave me his number in the hallway. And so he said, I'm going to do the show and then I said, we're going to do the show. Right? I didn't even tell him. So I waited for I listened on him the show and I was like, by now he's out of the studio. Now I can call him, right? I texted him. I said, do you have a moment? He called me. He said, come on in. I got you. And so I met and they let me in. This is Cheryl. He's introduced me to, I think it was Magic Johnson. There was a lot of people there, right? And then I look up and here comes your wife, Victoria, and Tony Zaza. And they're looking because they're trying to get in. And I'm waving at them because I'm...
And she's like, it's okay, they're with me. But I'm telling you, like, Cheryl, who does that? Nobody does that.
Oh my
I mean, you just like,
gosh.
I think there's a fierceness about you that all of us can learn
That's
from.
what Oprah said. I was like, I was going to get that tattooed on my back because she's like, you're just relentless. And it's just like, there are things that any leader, they feel these things that should be a part of their life. But a lot of people don't go after it because of fear, right? But when you know that you're supposed to do X, Y, or Z, if you know that you know, then it will happen if you continue to do it. And what most people do is they'll start and stop and start and stop. And for me, I just continue to go. And I'm like, okay, this is the person that I know is supposed to be helping. Sometimes I know that person and sometimes I don't. But if I know your name and God shows me your name, I'm like, okay, God, so it's Oprah that's supposed to help me. Okay.
And no fear of rejection.
Not at all. Not at all. They are in my book here. I talk about they say no, N-O, because they don't K-N-O-W, meaning they don't really know. There is something that I haven't made clear to them as to why they need to say yes to me. So let me go back and repaint this picture again. And that's all I kept doing with Oprah is repainting the picture. And then she said, who are these people that you're feeding? I said, it's the grandmothers that's raising their grandchildren. I said, it's the veterans, because I'd never shared and painted that picture and told that story. And so people really connect to your story. So what story are you telling them? If you tell the story right, they say yes.
Yes.
I can show you my phone right now. I've been texting Ross Perot Jr. and I'm like, I need to talk to you.
True.
It's true, right? And he just texts me back and go, in 1.5 hours, I can talk to you. So I said, okay, in 1.5 hours, I can talk to you too.
All right, let's talk about your book. We're going to put the cover on the screen so people can see this. When did the book come out?
The book came out last year, right before my birthday in August. And I'm so excited about it because it's a book of leadership stories. Not, as you know, I'm the founder of Minnie's Food Pantry, but I do a lot of things that I don't talk about that's a passion that I'm passionate about, and that's really just helping people.
Yes.
And one of my favorite stories in there is about the Allen shooting. When those people lost their lives, I stayed there for 8 days, signifying every life that was lost. CNN, MSNBC, all of them were there, and I made sure I put a bed of roses. And I just really tell a lot of leadership stories because leaders don't understand how they can be a part of changing somebody's lives in just simple ways, right? There's a story in there about a lady who called me, found me on the internet. And so I think you're the only person that can help this lady. She's dying. She has a last dying wish. And I'm doing my biggest giveaway ever. And I paused because I heard it in this woman's voice. And she lived in Houston. She had 3 kids and she just wanted different. She gave what she wanted for those kids for Christmas, but it was November.
Yes.
Me and my team drove down in November right before our giveaway. We gave this woman these gifts. And Jeff, her daughter died before Christmas. She thought she was dying. Her daughter died suddenly. So she called me crying. I'm like, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. But I will tell you this. The day before she died, she called me. She said, I'm going to go find Miss Minnie in heaven. She had cancer. She said, they tell me I have less than 24 hours to live. I'm going to go find Miss Minnie. I'm going to tell her what an angel you are on earth. It was a simple act that I did, but it changed her life and her children's life. And that's what we can do one by one. We can do things, you know?
Well, one of the things that impresses me about you, and there are many things that impress me, is
Same here.
it's not about Cheryl, because you're asking on behalf of the people that you're serving.
Yeah, most of the time, if I need something, it's difficult for me to ask. It's very difficult for me to ask. I feel like God will give me what I want. I set up underneath, what's his name? I see his face. He's the big motivational speaker.
Tony Robbins?
No,
Or Les Brown?
No, he passed away, and his son and all
Zig
of them.
Ziglar.
Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
So every Monday I would go to Zig Ziglar, and we would get to sit down and talk. And he would say, "If you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want." And I live by that. And so I'm like, Lord, I'm going to make this happen for this person because I know you're going to take care of me.
Yes.
And it's always been that way.
All right, so what's next for Cheryl Jackson?
Well, I'm going to do a podcast pretty soon. It's going to be Cheryl and Friends. And I'm going to invite all of my friends on, the Tony Robbins, the Oprah Winfrey's of this world. Yeah.
And in 25 years, you're going to have me on your show.
It's going to take me 2 to 5 years, not 25, right? Jeff will be sitting here waiting, going, it's my turn, right, Cheryl? I will not do him like he did me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so proud of you. I mean, 25 years I've known you. And it's like that song, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Amen.
And I just see God doing great things. And I love, it's what you're doing, how you're putting people's name and making people feel like they have a voice. That's what I admire about you. And that's what I like to do for people.
Thank you. Okay, I want you to give a little sermon.
Oh, Lord.
So I want you to look into that camera on the left.
All right.
And give us a 4-minute sermon on why people need to take action and not just live in fear.
Oh, wow, Jeff. People need to take action and not live in fear because time time is not promised. Your next breath literally isn't promised to you. One of the stories in my book is about my mom. And I started Minnie's Food Pantry because I was once homeless, hungry, trying to feed my own family. And then my father passed away Father's Day weekend. When I went into this depression, I just told my mom, I said, Mom, you're all I have left. I want the world to know your name. And as the world began to know her name, my mother called me one day. I was going into a meeting and my mother said, I'm so proud of you. She said, I don't know why God gave me you, but I love you so much. I was on a high, just on a high. I'm like, everything's happening. I'm feeding people, hung up the phone. And when I finished my board meeting and turned my phone over, they said, come home. And I was 1.5 miles away, lived across the street from my mom, and the ambulance was there. And they were rolling my mother out. And I looked down, I said, I just spoke with her. And my mother didn't make it. And I started thinking about how short and how difficult it is to get through those moments in life, but it's even more difficult to get through them when you're not living your dream, when you're not living your passion, and you can't sleep. And so I want to talk to that person who has stress, anxiety, because you know there's so much more, but it's not happening. I want to tell you, just continue to take action, continue to believe in yourself. God gave it to you. Whatever you've seen, if you've seen yourself on the big stage, write it down, create that vision for your life, and then go after it. I wrote down that I wanted to do a TED Talk, and I didn't even know how to do it, but nobody was asking me. And then I wrote it down. And the moment that I wrote it down, within a month, the city of Plano called and said, will you be our closing speaker for TED Talk? What is it that you want to do? And what's stopping you from doing it? It's not what, it's who. And the only person stopping you from achieving your dreams and goals, it's you. So look in the mirror. When you get this book, if you get a chance to read my book, I say I live by 3 things. Number 1, use me, because I want to be used by helping other people. God says I want to use someone so they can know what big things I can do. I'm looking around here with Jeff, the big things I can do. The second thing I live by is words, is thank you. Show gratitude for every person. People always say, Cheryl, how do you get so much from so many people? It's because if they give me a penny, they give me a hug, or they speak my name, I say thank you, right? And then the last 2 words I live by is well done. Because at the end of the day, and one of our days is going to end, we want to hear it say, well done. And if you can say that every single day, that I did everything so well, I helped somebody get where they need to be, I promise you're going to get where you need to be. And that's the power of action.
So beautiful.
Thank you, Jeff.
I love our friendship.
I love you.
Thank you.
Tori.
Absolutely. We're going to end with her website, which is CherylAction.com, the great Dr. Cheryl Action Jackson. Thanks for blessing us with your wisdom.
Thank you, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.